everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Again, my name is Mary, your reservation supervisor, here to give you some tips and tricks about traveling. So today we are going to be talking about refunds. Now, when we say refunds, there are different categories. So if you see me look down every now and then, it's just because I wrote some notes and I want to make sure that I talk about everything that I want to say about refunds today. So the first thing we're going to talk about are refundable tickets. So with refundable tickets, you do always get your money back when you buy a ticket. There are those instances where you want to ask the airline, I am purchasing a refundable ticket, but I do need to make sure there are no hidden fees when I go to cancel, because sometimes there are refundable tickets that carry a fee. So if you have to cancel, there's like a $250 fee or a $300 fee that you have to pay to get your money back. So you want to make sure you ask those questions. This is with a third party as well as the airline. So just make sure you do your research when it comes to refundable tickets. They are the best tickets out there, especially when you're not sure if you want to take the flight, if you want to take the trip or not. So it's always best to ask those questions before you purchase a refundable ticket, because they can be very expensive. Now, the second refund that I want to talk about are non-refundable tickets. Non-refundable tickets, the name right there just tells you that it's a non-refundable ticket. The only thing is, with non-refundable tickets, with most airlines, you do have a 24-hour grace period. So if you purchase it today, you have until midnight the following day to pretty much cancel and get your money back, no questions asked. After that 24-hour grace period, it does carry a fee to change the reservation. So you want to ask each airline what those fees are, how much they charge to change those tickets. It can range from $150 to $500 sometimes. Yes, it can be very expensive. So just make sure you ask. And if you do have a non-refundable ticket and you have to change, most of the times just let the airline know directly why you're changing. If it's something that's out of your control, they will work with you in waiving those fees. However, it may carry difference in fare. You may be looking at, if you buy it through an external website or through a third party, you may be looking at that external fee, which can range from $50 on to like $150. So just keep in mind with that. And the third thing I wanted to talk about are bulk ticket, or the very discounted low fares. With bulk tickets, they're non-changeable regardless. Because what bulk tickets are is, if you buy it from, let's say, Expedia, they buy these tickets from the airline directly at a wholesale price, and then they turn around and sell it to their customers at a low rate. With that low rate, they don't even tell the airline how much they're selling you these tickets for. So the airline has nothing to pretty much price that new ticket against. You're just having to end up buying a whole new ticket if they're not willing to help you at all. With bulk tickets at all as well, just keep in mind it's a take it or lose it kind of ticket. So if you're not able to fly, just think of it as something that's lost. So I wouldn't spend too much money on the bulk ticket. Bulk tickets, you want to make sure, if once you buy that ticket, you're definitely going to take that flight. You're definitely going to go where you're supposed to go. If it's work related or vacation, you will have to take that flight. Unless, if it's partially flown, sometimes the airline can make that change, because let's say if the same fare is available, they can just go ahead and reissue that ticket or swap it out for you at no additional cost. If they're going to do it at no additional cost, then yes, they can take over that ticket and make changes for you. The only thing is, when it's a wholly unflown ticket, if you haven't taken any part of that ticket, once they take over and reissue that ticket for you, if you need to change again, you cannot go back to the agency, because the airline has already taken over that ticket, which means no other changes are permitted at all, unless the airline is willing to make another exception for you, which again, it's up to that airline. And the other thing I wanted to talk about is that 24-hour grace period. When you buy a ticket, you have 24 hours from when you buy it. Now, when I say 24 hours, just because you bought it at 1 o'clock today doesn't mean it's good until 1 o'clock tomorrow. It's good until midnight the following day. So you would have more than 24 hours per se. So you want to make sure, if you do have to cancel that ticket, cancel within those 24 hours, because they can get you your money back. And most likely the money out of your account is just pending and has not pulled out, which it'll just go from a pending status process, and then the funds will fall back into your account. So that 24-hour grace period is something to think about. It is also available with the third-party vending agencies, let's say Expedia, Hotwire.com, any one of those. You can call them and say, hey, I just booked my ticket in the last 24 hours and it's not going to work out for me and I would like my money back. If they're not willing to help you at all, which most of them are not willing to, they'll just tell you to go back to the airline. Call the airline. They will definitely help you because at the end of the day, it is their ticket stock and they do have to help you. Now, the last thing that I wanted to talk about is COVID related refunds. A lot of people book their flights so far in advance, well before this COVID crisis hit. So if you are one of those and you do have a ticket that you booked prior to COVID, some airlines are giving refunds, others are not. Again, most likely what you would get is they would waive all penalties for you to rebook. You would end up having to pay difference in fare. Now, the reason why they're not waiving any difference in fare is because your ticket could have been from Atlanta to New York, and now you want to fly to Dubai. Of course, that's international, so they're not going to cover any of that. But if you are keeping the integrity of the flight, still going from Atlanta to JFK, most likely all airlines are reissuing it at no additional cost, even if the same fare is not available. Keep that in mind and just do your research. And also, they are refunding if you have any kind of cancellation. Now, if the airline cancels your flight, then that's the airline's at fault in that case, so they do have to refund your ticket. If there is a delay that's greater than 2 hours, I would say 2 hours. Some airlines it's less than 2 hours, but if it's greater than 2 hours, then you do also get a refund because that's considered a greater impact. I would say give the airline a call. They will definitely refund your ticket in those cases. But if the airline is still flying, yes, I know they're still flying even with COVID. But if the airline is still flying, if that flight is still going, then the airline is unfortunately not obligated to refund that ticket. They are only required to refund the ticket if, in fact, they are the ones that impacted your travel, which means cancellations, delays of greater than 2 hours. With that said, now the airlines are working with people, so if you have underlying conditions, if you are at an age where you don't think you will ever be able to fly again, safely that is, if you are sick and you do not want to take the chance, give them a call, let them know of your situation. If you're not able to fly again in the future, I don't see why any airline would not refund you your money. That is one condition. I know as a reservation supervisor, I do take a look at things like that. Is this person at an age where I don't think they're going to fly again? Do they have a medical condition where I don't see them flying in the near future? That is things that I look at, and those are the exceptions that I do make. So give them a call. It wouldn't hurt. The worst thing they can say is no. And the other thing I want to mention is if you are traveling with COVID during this COVID period, please wear a mask, because the airlines, they are combining a list of people that they are banning from aircraft, because if you don't wear a mask, I mean, you're putting yourself at risk and you're putting the other passengers at risk. You may be okay with it, someone else might not be. With that said, please just wear your mask. Even if you don't like, if you have a condition that keeps you from wearing a mask, let the airline know, because they have something set in place where they can pre-screen you. That way you do not have to wear a mask, but you need to let them know. Call them in advance, let them know, hey, I can't wear a mask. I have a medical condition that keeps me from wearing a mask. They will work with you and do a medical screening prior to you going to the airport. That way you do not have to wear that mask, because they can see that you clearly do not have COVID and you're not going to risk anyone else's life getting on board without a mask. But if you do get on board without pre-screening, without any kind of medical condition to back that up, they will, one, pull you off of the flight. So you will miss your flight, you will miss your engagement. And on top of that, you may be banned from that airline. So that's one thing to think of. Now, one other thing I wanted to mention, you're thinking about buying a ticket, regardless if it's going to be a refundable, non-refundable ticket, so have you. You do, if the fare is similar to the airline's fare, please go ahead and book it directly with the airline because, like I said, the airline would be more willing to help you if you book directly with them as opposed to if you book with a third-party agency. The reason why I say that is because with agency tickets, they buy one leg from, let's say, American Airlines, another leg from United. They combine those two to get you that lower fare. When it comes to changing or canceling, there's not much the airline can do only because there's more airlines to your ticket than just one. So they don't want to risk canceling your ticket and you having to lose your other reservation with that other airline. Most of the times, if you're canceling the whole reservation, they can help you with that only because you want to call the airline whose ticket stock it is. So when you look at that ticket number tells you exactly which airlines it is. You want to call the airline whose ticket stock it is, and they will definitely help you. In that case, that is if you're canceling everything. But if you're just looking to rebook or if you're just looking to cancel your outbound and keeping your return, you want to go through the agency you booked with because the airline, unfortunately, may not be able to do much for you. Well, that's all I had for you guys today. Thank you very much for tuning in. Please don't forget to subscribe. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and hit that notification bell. I will come out with a video. I will hopefully try to come out with a video every day, if not every other day. Right now, I just do not have my schedule set. I am new to this YouTube game. So please, please, please support and give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you and have a blessed day.